Well, man.
Time.
It's that time again. It's another episode of the Sauce TV, man. It's your boy God Smoke LA. Got my boy Lil P. Man, we got my dog Doe, man, in the house, man. Doe Networks, man. What's good, big dog?
Man, what's going on with it, man? My boy Smoke, man. Glad y'all finally invited me on, man.
Yeah,
I've been trying.
Man, I'm glad y'all finally,
Man.
got me here.
Man, I've been trying hard, man. You know what I mean? But put me off, saying, all right, man, next week, bro. Nah, look, next week. So finally, man, I'm here, man. Shout out to my boy, man.
That's right. I appreciate you, big
Homie
dog.
Lil P too, man.
Man, and a lot of cats, I'm just going to start it like this, big dog, because I'm happy you're here. And a lot of cats say that they are in favor of progression. And a lot of cats talk about, oh, yeah, everybody needs to, we need to support each other and help each other out and all this. And, seldom do I see cats do it, right? You're not one of those cats, G. You know what I mean? You're a cat that is the epitome of one hand washes the other.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? And I appreciate that about you, bro. And so, man, from us to you, man, I appreciate you and I welcome you to the Sauce, brother.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate it, man. Man, I just try to, man. I just try to do, man. We connected on the real level, man. So, that's why I just try to rock with people, man. That's genuine, and that rock with me, man. I think that's easy, and that make it easy.
For sure, easy call, right?
Yeah.
Being real goes a long way.
Yeah.
Oh, for real, dog. Especially when you're in a situation where you're surrounded by cats who are being the contrary to that. You know what I mean? And
For sure.
Cats real recognize real, and that's exactly what happens. So now, I'm fucking with my bro. And I'm glad we're here, man. I'm glad we're here right now at Slick Studios, big dog. So
Big Slick, man.
yeah, man. Shout out BD.
And shout out
You know what I'm saying?
Oatmeal, man.
Shout out Oatmeal Radio, man.
Yeah.
Hey, man, get a bowl.
Get a bowl, man.
Get a bowl.
Get a
man,
bowl.
we were with Doe for like 3 hours the other night, dog, talking about how many bowls we could get,
Man,
how many different
we
type
about
of
to
bowls
get,
we could
man?
get.
Maple brown sugar bowls, man.
Soul bowls.
You see, he already
know,
got
you
soul
got
bowl.
banana
he
cream
said
bowls.
He goes, if you black, we got a soul bowl.
Soul
if
bowl.
you Korean, we got a soul bowl.
You got the shrimp, you got the you got the grits, you got the shrimp and grits bowl. You know what I mean?
He said if you're
for the
Hispanic,
blacks.
we also got a soul bowl.
The soul bowl.
Acai.
Man,
Acai bowl.
Man, it's all
Carly
kind
like
of
the
bowls,
acai bowl.
man. Shout out to Oatmeal, man. That bowl. That bowl go a long way, man. You know what I mean? You got to fill your bowl up, man. You got to bring a bowl to the table to even fill it up. So go get a bowl and then boom,
Fill your bowl up.
fill it up, man. Come get it.
I like that.
That's
I
what
like
we
that,
doing.
big
That
dog.
Slick, man.
Dope, man. So, Inglewood.
Yeah.
Inglewood.
Born and raised, man.
Born and raised in Inglewood, man.
Shout out to the city, man.
Tell me about Inglewood growing up, man.
Is Inglewood always up to no good?
Inglewood was always up to no good, man. I grew up, probably about 85% of my life. It was a portion of my life I grew up. I was living in Hawthorne, but
Okay.
I was born in Centinela Hospital. Went to Kelso Elementary, all the way first through the fourth. Man, Inglewood was, man. I think, far as this at that time, it was like any other city at that time. I mean, it was a little. Let me rephrase that, because it was other cities that was worse. Like Inglewood was, we had the Forum. We had like a lot of good things. Like the city was thriving, I should say, but you still had, you had the gang element to it though too. So you had, had your grimy parts and the things that a kid coming up, man, that's impressionable, hanging around the wrong guys like myself. I won't say the wrong guys, 'cause, they're my partners, they're my homies to this day, some of them, but just being impressionable,
Yeah,
man. I got caught up in what the brown side the city had to offer. So man, it was like any other city though, man. I would say, but it was popping though. them '90s, man. You know, I grew up in. I was born in the '80s. Grew up in the '90s, so you know, '96 was like the year. '97 was like the year when I, was figuring it out and understood what was going on. And I guess you could say jumped off the porch.
Off the porch.
Boom,
Yeah.
and, my high school years, man. That was in the junior high school was popping.
So I don't want to dive into exactly where you're at right now, man. What what pushed you to kind of get involved in the street life?
I think for me, because like I was a fatherless. I wouldn't say fatherless, but my father was in and out the system, man. So it was just primarily my mom. I had like uncles and things of that nature, but I think it was just the lack of kind of like leadership in the household. So I was, moms had to work long hours, so that led to me having a lot of free time on my hands to go explore. You know what I mean? So I used to be going outside. Moms used to be telling me, look, even though she at work, you got to be in the house when the street lights come on, but you at work, so you don't know what's going on. So I'm outside, past the street lights, and then shit, just hanging, met, a lot of few of the homies, man, that I grew up with from from like elementary, junior high, just kind of got tied in with them, and their family was tied into it, so I used to be hanging out at their house, and then before you know it, boom, I'm joining the set, so then from that point it was, for me, man, it was more I think it was more, I don't know, I guess I could compare it to like how I guess like how varsity or like a star basketball player feels when he plays ball. Like, man, you can wow the crowd. So I know the more, like the more ignorant I could get, you know what I mean, the more brash stuff I could do, I guess you could say, and at the games, just doing ignorant shit, firing on people. You know how the shit go.
Right.
Just, the more brash shit you could do, the more applause you get from that fan base. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I think it was a lot of that.
Seeking approval.
Yeah, seeking approval. You know what I mean? Seeking approval, man, because I wasn't, I tried organized sports, man. I played a little bit. I was pretty good, but didn't really have the push and the, I guess you could say the outside push from, like I
Yeah.
said, moms was at work, so she really couldn't do that. So I really didn't have that push to excel in that. So shit, that was easy.
Yeah, you went to what was easy, bro. Readily available.
Yeah, but then I made like a lot, like you say, like a lot of good friends, like shit, a lot of homies that I was hanging out with every day. Some that you thought was your friends at that point.
Yeah.
You just build it's like just build a camaraderie, man. We all building around, doing ignorant shit and shit that we thought was, we was fed to believe that was, that stood on what it's supposed to stand for. You just bought into it, so. That's kind of where I was at with it.
At what age did you start getting caught up in the system?
Man, the first time I can remember getting arrested was like 15 for a stolen car. All my stuff was like stolen cars prior to what I went down for, but it was like 15 for a stolen car, and then I remember it was 15, it was 17. Then there was another one like around like 19, and after that it was, you know what I mean?
Sat down.
Yeah, when it shut down after that.
Were those just like just trying to get G rides and shit, or you was?
Yeah, it was
boosting
just
cars?
like, one of them was for some other stuff that we won't talk about, but but the it was just more just like just dumb shit,
Fucking
man.
around.
Yeah, fucking around, yeah.
That's it's pretty grown to know that that the lack of leadership, that the lack of leadership in your life and the outside life that you were living, it's real mature of someone to realize that,
Yeah.
and is that something that came kind of later? You realize that, or was this kind of like Did you know that at the time?
You know what, man? Like just like thinking back, probably like towards the end, like or I guess towards before I had to sit down and do that stretch. I was seeing things a little different because I started going to school. I started going to barber school. I started hanging around a few other cats that were doing other things outside of just hanging out in the streets every day. You know what I mean? Even with like the music stuff kind of that was the seed was planted like back then. You know what I mean? I just didn't really take to it until, of course, until I got out on this run. But just kind of like that last little period in my life was just like it was a little awakening. Like I wasn't fully up. I was still running around, doing things. But at the same time, I was seeing things a little different. You know what I mean? I would say. If I answered the question, I forgot where I was going with that question, or where the question was. But.
No, I was just, kind of touching in on whether, like, what part of your life did you realize that lack of leadership,
lack of
was
leadership,
detrimental to
right.
kind of your upbringing?
Right.
You know what I mean? And obviously, and I hear this from a lot of cats that had done stretches, like calendars, is they tend to be a lot more disciplined, organized, and they take life a lot more serious when they're given that second chance to get out there and go get it again.
Right.
How much of that has helped you in kind of your everyday structure with management, living life, man, just being a dad?
I mean, shit, a lot. Like, for as just, I had some goals kind of set, or I guess you could say like a vision kind of set on what things I wanted to do. I just didn't know how I was gonna be able to like get to it. But just man, just through the the will of Allah, man, I've been able to been able to see through it, man. Met a beautiful woman, man, and that kind of opened the keys to a lot of the things that I'm doing today. I wouldn't, like I said, getting out after doing all that time, man, you don't know where to start at with shit, pretty much. Like, you just kind of like, all right, walk 13 years off. All right, here you go. Now you get out, as a 35-year-old man, now go and figure out life.
Whew.
You know what I mean? So
Right.
it's kind of, just a lot of cats isn't blessed to be able to run into, the people, the man that can help guide them through this, through this wilderness of this world we live in. You know what I mean? So, going back to the question what was the question again? No, I'll be rambling, man. What was the question? I forgot.
What was the question, Little P? What was the
I
question,
forgot
Little P?
what led up to that.
I was already 2 questions ahead right now, bro. Ready for the.
No, I know that question was led to, man, my bad, man. You
Did
already know
that
I'm
discipline? Did that discipline
Oh,
you get
yeah,
from
the
sitting
dip, but
down?
no,
You
but
know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like, how does that helping you with your everyday life? Type shit?
Well, I could say, because it helps me. Like I said, I'm not as disciplined as I was, like, for as a few years, like really getting out the joint. I think I was like more like laser focused on the mission. Like nothing couldn't stop.
Right.
As you go through life, you kind of, you get a little comfortable with certain shit, and you pick up other things that kind of, but it's still something that you use to kind of keep you focused on what you're doing.
Right.
But just kind of like the discipline of just getting up, having to get up at a certain time every day.
You say would it help you appreciate more?
Yeah, no, it definitely helped me appreciate life getting out for sure. Because, man, just looking back at all the stuff that I was forced to do, but at the same time, all the stuff that I was forced to do helps me with the things that I need to do, like being able to deal with, because I work with a lot of artists. So in prison, you have to learn how to deal with different walks of life and different
Mentalities.
mental makeups,
Yeah.
mentalities. So having to deal with that for 13 years every day, you got to deal with, the homie over there. He's mentally going through it. Everybody going through shit too at the same time. So you dealing with people that's in their rawest form and that's going through shit. You know what I mean? At the same time. So, man, you
Real
you get to really
psychological conditioning.
right. You get to like really understand people. I guess you could say so.
Learn how to
That kind
maneuver
of
through shit.
that hit, like getting out. That helped me. That helped me in the world because we all shit. We still all hurting out here. Everybody going through something still out here. You know what I mean? We just able to mask it and wear makeup and chains and all that shit to cover it up. But shit, I guess you could say just being able to balance, man, and balancing all the personalities and relationships and things and meeting people in there and then being able to translate that out there, man, and being able to kind of understand people and deal with people
Right.
one at a time. You know what I mean?
Right.
I guess you could say.
I mean, so if anybody knows you, I mean, they don't even really need to know you. If anybody looks on your Instagram, man, they see that you're a proud dad.
Oh yeah,
You know
for
what I mean?
sure. That shit
How
go
does
running now.
how does raising a little girl that's going to be a young woman along the one day, how does that drive affect what you do, bro? Like how much of that is like why you doing what you're doing?
No, it's a lot, man. Because with I have other children as well, so I wasn't able to be present in their life as much as I wanted to be. Being gone.
Yeah.
So being blessed with my little one, man, it's super important, man, because I want her to be able to kind of just me doing what I do is kind of being able to leave a legacy for her to be inspired of and like see like damn, my dad was my dad really did that, my dad just kind of be inspired off the things that I did and hopefully be able to even leave some things that she could use to for that she could benefit off of in her life. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, and it's
so
it's a perfect time for that.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
just kind of be just an example, man. The example that a lot of kids that a lot of kids that didn't have fathers didn't have. You know what I mean? That's my drive. What my drive is with her. Just to be
That's
better.
real.
You know what I mean? And it's just
That's real.
that's so she can have them memories, man. When she's from when she's older. And,
Well,
I'm
they say
gone
that,
and I'm
They
dead and
say,
gone.
they say a father is a daughter's first love.
Yeah.
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
no, true.
So, it's up to you to show her, to give her those healthy expectations of a man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
True.
So when she grows up, you know what I mean? So I think from what I see, Big Dog, you're doing an amazing job, G.
No, thank you,
You know what I
man.
mean?
Thank
and
you. Thank
it's
you.
tough. It's tough out there with all the
it's hella
outside
tough.
influences, social media, and whatever else there is that these kids are watching out here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's hard, because I
Man,
I have
that's what
daughters
they
as well, so I
that's
respect
what
it.
they learning. Like they getting smarter, off watching this stuff. You know what I mean? As far
Yeah.
as just their awareness of the world is a little earlier. You know what I mean?
faster,
Than
smarter,
than it was for us. So, even within that, man, we gotta as parents, man, we gotta
Draw those boundaries.
we gotta draw boundaries, and then we gotta stay up on it. Like we between me and her mom, man, we try to stay up on everything that she's up on.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And then at the same time monitor stuff, certain stuff that she's definitely not gonna watch right now.
Yeah.
But at the same time, even with the music, like with me with the music, I'm kind of bad with it because, I let her listen to the music. You know what I mean? But at the same time, we wanted to just, it's more of I guess she gonna hear the lyrics, but I'm like a production dude too, so that she gets, and as I
beats
see
and
she
the-
getting
yeah.
older, she's getting vibing off the beats like me too, like the samples.
Yeah.
She's singing the sample parts, so it's just kind of just sharing with her what I enjoy, and just hope
Right,
she
right.
get the right part that I'm trying to show her out of it. You know what I mean?
Right. I think she will. Man, so what? I know we had conversations before, and you said kind of when you were sitting down and you're doing your stretch that you were still kind of managing artists.
Yeah.
You're still kind of making moves, man.
Yeah.
How does that work? How does that happen, bro? I mean, you're there. I mean, I know you got time,
Yeah.
Right.
A bunch of time.
right? I know you
Yeah,
got time.
yeah.
So,
Plenty of
like,
hours.
how do you maneuver? It's just man, it's a lot of phone time.
Cell phones, man. That was Man, once them cell phones started like sliding in the facility,
I
and
didn't want to
then-
put it out like that.
Oh
but
no,
yeah,
I mean shit.
yeah.
I've been out.
He's
man.
like, I'm
That's-
out now.
Shit, they know about it
You
now.
have to
You
do
can
your
look
job
on.
now.
Like, this dude's on YouTube. They got whole YouTube pages. These fools in the cell with the.
For real, I see some
Yeah,
dudes
it's
getting
different
life
now.
advice.
I remember
man.
back then it was a little, it was a little bit more, you know, a little bit, you know, it was a little more shock. Like then, like damn, this nigga
yeah.
on Facebook with the
Now
in the
everybody know
cell,
they
like
there.
it
Yeah,
was
they
crazy
there,
then.
yeah.
But now just being able to, man, using that phone, man, being able to navigate through that phone. I remember having shit was a flip phone at first. Man, I figured out how to because I was gone before MySpace, so I ain't know none of that. So I had to learn how to.
Damn.
I really skipped MySpace. By the time I got to using social media, it was like Twitter and Facebook already.
Yeah.
So it was so what I did. I tried to learn how to use Twitter. Once I figured out how to use Twitter, you know, once I really got a phone, because I used to use phones at first, and then once I busted a move, man, stacked my chips up, was able to get my own phone in the cell. That's when I was really able to lock in. So man, every day my thing was, of course, you know, you call females, whatever you gonna do, but my thing, I'm finna go on Twitter. So I used to just be on. Once I figured out, got me a page, figured out what I was looking at, because you know on the flip phone, man, that shit looked crazy. You know what I mean?
Shit
Back then,
crazy.
so I didn't know what the hell I was looking at. So I had to figure. Once I figured out, okay, yeah, man, when that's an at, when the at, that mean they talking to that person,
to that
they
person,
adding him
yeah.
back. So I'm like, oh, okay. So once I figured that out, then that's when I became aware of like the blog era and what was going on with that. So that was like 2009, I guess, 2008, 2009. But just my journey
that
through
was-
Twitter, man,
That was the right time to start utilizing Twitter,
yeah,
though.
that was
for
the
real.
whole boom, because that's
Yeah.
where everything. That's when I'm looking. I'm like, damn, people just put music out on the phone. Like that's how it was looking to me. Like you could just go that Piff and damn, I know Two Dope Boys and
My
man,
mixtapes was
man,
starting
my
back
mixtapes.
then. Yeah.
I had dropped. I remember I dropped one when I was in the joint. We was on, I think, my mixtapes, one of them,
Yeah.
on them platforms. So
Yeah.
once I figured out, like that's how people was creating music and dropping music, then I was even like the spot I was in at the time. I was up there with the homie Trey D. That's when I was on the tier with Trey D and a few of his homies from Long Beach. So they was up there actually making music over the phone. So they recorded music over the phone. Like man, they got real studio sessions in the on the block on the cell block. You got homie looking out, walking back and forth. You got cash in there. They got the phone with got the sheet in there. It's like in the soup box, and they got the speaker kind of sticking out. And you got your sheet, man. Kind of, I guess, you know, the muffle the sound. Niggas blocking the door off. Man, it was a whole process, man. But niggas, man, they got it's a whole. I believe you can still get. I know it's a whole CD or a whole album they dropped from that time we was up there.
So, how much of those relationships that you was forming inside with cats that had something to do with music, how did that resonate outside? Did you did you run with those, or was that just something that you had in there that you came out and did your own shit? You know what I mean? Or, you know, what was it? Did you stay fucking with Trey D after? Like,
No, me and Trey, me and D, I still speak to D to this day. We used to, when I first got out, man, we used to be playing, you know, we used to play handball, go up there and meet up in Chino playing handball. Like definitely a lot of relationships from the joint. Man, the TF was somebody else, what artist I managed, but I met TF in prison. So me and TF met, was in Soledad. This before I knew he even rap. You know what I mean? He was just in there doing time just like I was. Shit, met him, man. I used to see him on the weight pile. You know what I mean? Then, you know, after a while, man, we split up ways, man. He got out, then shit, I ended up getting out, and then boom, we ended up reconnecting. Now we work together. You know
That's
what I
a
mean?
crazy feeling, huh?
Yeah, no, real shit. That's we always talk about that.
It must
man,
feel
how crazy that
good,
is.
though, right?
No, definitely, man. After like seeing some, you know, just after seeing cats, after seeing somebody, I guess you could say at they lowest or they purest form. In there, but
Yeah, no, you
drinking water,
boiled down
working
to the
out.
real.
Yeah, I mean, you got people still in there, you know, doing what they do, but the ones that's in there programming, you know, you just in there, man, drinking water, eating, busting down, reading, and then, you know, back to it the next day. So he was like one of them cats that was on the, you know, he was programming like I was in there. So, you know, seeing him we us locking in and there and then boom, vice, locking in right now. That's dope, man. That's just full circle stuff. Full circle shit as they call it.
Nah, not real shit. We were just talking about that.
Yeah.
Crazy. Full circle. Remember when you were telling me, we were talking to you, telling me, man, when I was down, I was listening to a radio station out in Palm Springs,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I showed you some of my old music back in the day, and you were like, man, I heard you before.
Man, I remember that when I was in Calipat, man, that's when I first heard the first time I heard Kendrick K Dot.
Man,
Like
that's what,
2000,
yeah.
2006. Man, everybody used to go out to this. I forgot the name of the station, but we used to listen to it every Friday, man. And it was like every Friday, and I want to say Sundays. They should do some shit Sundays too, but Fridays or Thursdays. He might have been like
It
Thursday.
was Thursday.
Thursday.
It was Thursday.
Thursday was the night, man. We used to tune in. Me and the homie Lil Smiley.
U92.
Tune in,
Yeah.
listen to K Dot. That's when I learned about J Rock. Damn, who else slid up there? G
Damn, what a
Malone.
trip. Yeah, G.
The homie.
Yeah.
That's when I heard the homie music on there. A lot of cats that was, I guess, that New West time, that New West era. Then,
Yeah,
but-
we were under glasses at the time.
Yeah.
But see, but I'm not even saying. I'm just saying that as a testament to that full circle shit.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Because now we right here rubbing elbows like a
now we
motherfucker.
chopping.
You know what I
Now
mean?
we
And so
chopping.
yeah, it's a trip, bro. It's a trip. So okay, so you out, right? Man, you back up. You back up. It's about the goal now, right? It's about the goal, bro. How long was it till you put out your first project?
Shit, I was at it immediately, man. So I had one that I was the Broken Cups one. That was like my little series, man. I had in mind that I created from in there. Pretty much the first one was created in there, but I dropped it when I was in a halfway house. But shit, pretty much it was shit from day one. I came to the gate, man. I had that project. I did that one. I
Is
liked
that the one where you had a paper clip?
I had
the
the
paper,
I had the paper,
Right.
yep,
Yeah,
on
you had the
everything.
paper clip and then,
Yeah, that's when I locked in with the homies. My boy Saddam, man, my good brothers from the Inkwell, man, out there in Atlanta, Mash Pike Miles, man, they helped me with that one, and that was like
Sick.
a blessing. Even meeting them, I met them from, and that's my brother Osby. That's where I learned about him from first.
Oh shit.
From the brothers when I was in the joint, but they was working with him. He'd tell when he come, he'd tell his story. But man, he was working with them brothers. I end up meeting up over the phone.
Oh shit.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Just
Yeah.
for me, just
Yeah.
politicking, man, getting cash on trying to get cash on the project, man. I ended up landing a conversation with my brother Saddam, which in turn landed me, talking to his partner at the time, the homie Mash Pike Miles. He was signed to Maybach Music at the time, or used to be signed to Maybach at Music at
Okay.
that time. But
Okay.
yeah, they helped me out with that first one, man. They had a few joints on there, and then shit, pretty much the second one, man. He was Osby was like he was the first artist that I got at for the Broken Cups too. When I was out, when I was really out and able to move around, he was the first artist I contacted for that one.
Dope.
You know?
It's crazy how that works out like that, huh?
Yeah.
So your reputation as a manager had already preceded you.
I wasn't even managing, man. I was just trying to make some tapes.
Oh, you were just trying to produce some shit.
Yeah, man. I wasn't even like managing. I wasn't even like thinking about being like no manager. My thing was, man, I just wanted to create these projects, man.
So you was on like your Khaled shit.
Yeah, without even
Right.
knowing, like because I wasn't even thinking like Khaled then. Because even before, I remember I was just always inspired, man, off the compilations, man. The West Coast Bad Boys, man. Even like soundtracks, man. The fucking the show soundtrack,
bro. Yeah.
just projects like that like they had dope. Like I was always into like, all right, these is artists we always listen to, right? And even back then, it was always, man, we tuning into their main shit, right? But man, I like going to hear these fools on like when we heard Biggie on the Computer Love beat. That was dope.
You think the talent level has progressed?
No, for sure. Like going back to Scheme, like he's my
Right.
favorite. Like out the, as far as what I've seen, he's definitely I like Peso. I done heard some stuff from Peso that I like. Now, can I say I didn't heard a whole lot of it? I haven't. So only can speak on the ones that I heard,
Okay.
and it's been dope. So no, definitely, y'all.
Fuck with it.
I definitely gotta say the talent level has risen from what I've seen. You know, but it's been some dope, man. Hispanic MCs over time, man. It's just different. Like even the boom bap era, man. Chino XL. I know,
Rest in peace. Yeah.
rest in peace, Chino XL. I'm trying to think, man. Somebody else. I mean, Kid Frost. I know, you know what I mean. I think Kid Frost was hella dope. You know what I mean? Would he come on and roll with me? Man, that was my shit. You know what I mean? That was my that late night rendezvous. But I think this man, I guess since the light is a little bigger on it now, you could say the talent has risen. But I think it's always been some dope Chicano MCs over time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. G would always, Glasses would always tell us like, man, because we give him a hard time, back in the day. You ain't even want us in the game, Glasses. You know what I mean? And we bust his balls and shit, and Glasses would be like, man, shut up with that shit, man.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, man, we don't give a fuck. He goes, we'll support you as long as you just got to be better than us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a competition, contact,
Nah,
motherfucking
it's-
sport,
nah,
dog.
It's
You know what I'm
it's
saying?
definitely a sport now.
You know?
You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. It's
You know what I
definitely
mean?
a sport.
And I respect that, bro.
Yeah.
Because we come from a generation where if you're an MC, you gotta be elite. You know what I mean? You gotta be hard, and you gotta write your own shit. You know what I mean? You gotta come correct with it, dog.
But when it come to that, like the competitive nature of it, then
Right.
that's where, man, the color go out the windows. Like where your
yeah,
bars,
exactly.
where your
bro.
bars at that point, or you know what I
'Cause
mean?
you
How
got
you
cats like
deliver your shit.
when you
at
got
that
cats
point.
like Millie's.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? That's cold.
yeah, dude from Philly.
Yeah, from
Yeah,
Philly.
yeah.
Cold with it, bro.
Yeah, no, I done heard a few of his joints. He spit.
Yeah, he's hard, bro.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? But that's good. But you know what? And like I was just mentioning the youngsters and the younger cats, and have feeling a duty to show them the right way, because you got cats, we're in the wake right now of a tragedy that happened with a young cat, Sucker Free.
man.
You know what
damn,
I mean? From
man.
Lennox, bro.
It's crazy, man.
And,
I was man.
Rest in peace to him,
Rest,
man.
man,
First
rest
and
in peace
foremost.
to him. That
Yeah,
was
man.
sad. Man, one of my good partners, actually, man, when I was when I found out about Scheme, we was talking about him. So I came up. I was listening to
Came
some of his
across
stuff,
his
and I actually like some of the stuff I heard from him too. So
Yeah, bro. He was
rest
really,
in peace to him, man.
Rest in peace, man. And our hearts go out to everybody who's dealing with the pain through that situation, bro. It's a fucked up thing, you know what I mean? And when you come across these young cats, man, and they're talented, bro, and they're caught up in the street life, and cats don't understand that they may be on a mission to get out, you know what I mean? And they may want to get out, but they have certain responsibilities, that they have to tend to, and that that they have to make sure that they handle, and as well as, just because you might be on people don't understand, just because you might be on a more positive path, that doesn't mean that everybody gonna agree with that, and everybody
true.
gonna be on that path with you.
That's
You know-
why, man.
you know.
Now, one thing I would say to the youth, man, always you got to be mindful of things you become involved with. You know what I mean, in your life, because you just never know. You know what I mean? What if it's gonna come back later on. So every move is important, man, and everything that you attach yourself to, I would say, you just just be you, man.
For real.
That's all. Just be you. That's it.
Right.
No.
Like some dude that I know who's on like this self improvement journey.
Yeah.
He always tells me, he's like, man, as long as you make sure and try to focus on making every next move the right one.
There it is.
You know what I mean?
True.
You don't got to have a big, crazy motherfucking plan for the future to be the best person you could be.
Yeah.
You just got to be focused on the next step.
That's
You know what
it.
I mean? And make that one, make your next move your best move.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so now we here now, man. So we here, right? So we went through the past, and now we here, bro. You got this crazy project that you dropped. Got crazy features on it, and I'm not saying crazy features because, like you you got like Tupac's hologram on that bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you got crazy
He
spitters.
might be on
dog.
there and
You know?
shit.
You got crazy
might, yeah.
spitters,
Yeah.
crazy production, bro. You know what I mean? And it feels like a breath of fresh air, dog, to hear hip hop
Man, thank you, man.
come back the way, you know what I mean? The way you bringing it, dog.
Man, thank you,
know?
man.
Like
Thank you.
what was like, tell me about the inspiration behind the album, dog, because hip hop is not something that everybody's bumping right now.
Nah,
You know what I mean?
Nah, but it's but it's coming. No, it's like
I feel it.
Yeah,
I feel it too.
Yeah, no,
I feel
it's-
it too.
Man, I've been telling, man, like I said, all the brothers, man, I've been working with for the, I guess you say, past 6 years. I've been telling it's like the shift. It's finna be a shift, man. You know what I mean? It's finna be a shift in the game to where they gonna go back and they gonna want to hear, they gonna want to hear music like this, man. So
Yeah.
it's just some shit right now. It's still in the process of the shift. But man, I'm just, man, I just see it. So I'm just trying to get in while it's shifting.
Yeah,
So
what
I,
they say,
be able to make my mark when it turns all the way
Yeah,
around.
yeah.
I'm right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they say every true entrepreneur sees the bend in the road before he gets to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
True.
I think that's part of what's going on right now inside your mind, though, man.
I see it. No, for sure, man.
And I'm seeing,
see, yeah.
I'm seeing more. Not to interrupt you, I'm sorry, but I'm seeing more and more people on social media just saying, bring back real spitters, bring back real spitters, bring back real rap, bring back lyrics, bring back music with substance. You know what I mean? Like we really want this stuff. It needs to come back, bro.
No, I mean for sure, man. I think, man, with and that was one of the goals I was trying to reach with this tape, man, is definitely being able to showcase that, that real lyricism, man. I guess you could say the new renaissance of the underground movement. I guess you could say it's kind of just trying to showcase the artists that I rock with and the artists that I'm feeling.
Well, I mean, we're definitely in a renaissance right now.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? I
It's
mean,
a
we're
shift.
definitely in a renaissance right now.
Yeah, so
The arts are going crazy. You know, every aspect of the elements of hip hop right now, everything's kind of going nuts right now.
No, for sure. No, it's all, man. It's all moving and rotating. So, man, I just want to be able to grab, man. That was just my thing, man. I just want to put every dope MC that I know, man. That has bars with substance, man. That I fuck with, man. Just put them on. It wasn't like no. I guess you could say no scientific reason or just kind of like a. Man, it was just one day like, hey, man, let me just put a tape together with, man, everybody I fuck with, man.
Everybody that's hard though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and put it out, you know what I mean, and shit, see what happens. That was just pretty much it was kind of like to see what happens, kind of just a big-ass tape with all the homies, you know what I mean, and put that shit out, man, and, and see where it lands.
Give me your two favorite tracks from East Side.
Oh, man. So you got A Day Late and A Dollar Short, man. That's the homie Bodie.
Okay.
Man, I knew that track as soon as I heard, when I heard the beat for sure, but when I heard when Bodie sent his verse back, I already knew that one was finna be going, and I played it probably for about a year before we even put it out, and it felt the same every time. So
you knew it.
Bodie record, I got a bunch of, cause all of them like my babies, man. Like all of them, I put. All of those records, man, I literally touched either they were created for this project or they were created, through me for something else.
Don't say that because Osby over there on the couch.
I
Dog.
mean, no, I didn't took a few. We had the Nia record, you know what I mean? The Nia, that's the Tensions. But that record, man, was created for a project that we doing, a Juma project, that was Islamic project that I'm working on with the brother. But
Okay.
man, I was, just going over. I had a bunch of pretty much the list of the records that I wanted to use, but it needed that. I need that message, man. I needed something that had that message of, what I'm trying to get across to the people, which I felt that record, man, was perfect. So. That's one of the records that was, shout out to the brother Tech, the homie Tech for Smith & Wesson.
Okay.
But it's one of the ones we sent to Tech, man. He laid it. Brother Osby, he did the production. He did the beat.
For sure.
Of course, he laid his verse. But yeah, that record. There's a few records, man, that was created for something else, but that's over there. But probably like 85% was created just solely for this tape.
Word.
Yeah.
Dope, bro. Dope. Osby a producer too?
Oh yeah, the brother do everything, man. Brother Shane.
I didn't know that, dog. I didn't
Man,
know that,
brother
dog. All right,
cold.
that makes me look forward to even, look,
Yeah.
hearing this shit even more, dog.
No,
You know
no,
what I'm saying?
no. He got a whole
what he got
tape.
coming?
What tape was that? New World Order. That's one of the
NWO.
yeah. That's one of the ones, man. They stay shouting that one out, man. For
Okay.
just blogs and you know,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's one of the ones. But
Yeah.
all production by him.
Okay, so man, so this project, tell us the name of the project, man, that you got out right now.
This is for the project. Side A and Side B just dropped yesterday. Side A dropped about a week ago.
Like you did side A and side B, bro.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Only the cats that come, you know what I'm saying? That come
Man,
from
the
that
old
era.
school,
go,
man.
you know,
Old school
go
understand the importance of the side A and the side B, man. The side A, people look at side A like, okay, I guess the best records. You put the best records on side A. Nah. Side B is just as important. It has just as many bangers as side A, even on albums. You know what I mean? Even on some of my favorite tapes back in the day, man. Side B joints was the best joints.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Got even on Nas, I go back all the way to Nas. It was written. This was a record that probably wasn't. I don't even think this shit was on the CD, but it was like a side B blank joint. But it was that Silent Murder. I don't know if you ever caught that, but it had the Soul to Soul. It had the Soul to Soul. He rapped over the Soul to Soul sample. That
Oh shit.
But it's joints like that side B joints that's super dope, but that don't get the attention. So splitting them up gives them the attention that they supposed to get. To me,
It's method to the madness.
Man, it's a little science to it, man. I did a little
See,
scientific
he tried to say
study,
he wasn't
man.
scientifical.
Little science, just
You
a
know
little
what I mean?
science,
Like-
man. You know what I mean? But both of them, man. Both of them, I'm proud of both of them because, man, like I said, it's 33 records, I believe, like 33, 34 records on all together when you combine them, and then that was pretty much, man, all the handpicked all the records, bro.
And they can find it on all streaming platforms.
All streaming everywhere you can find music, man, from Apple, Spotify, Tidal, shit, anywhere.
Okay.
Even CDs available too.
Oh,
Man,
you need to make some tapes, bro.
Double CD, man, like Pac.
Double disc.
You know what I mean?
All eyes on me.
Yeah.
Double disc like
Or that,
Pac.
or
Go
that.
get it.
Yeah, like Pac, or that corruption.
Go get that
You remember-
corruption,
you
man.
remember that corruption was raw, huh?
We
You
can
remember that?
freak it, man.
We can freak it.
Bro, that was a classic. He had
shit.
the East Coast and West Coast CD.
Yeah, that was the double disc, bro.
Shout out to Corrupt for that one, man.
You know
That
what I
took me
mean?
back. It's 96.
Yeah.
Damn, good
Remember
times.
that?
Good
Yeah,
times,
bro.
man.
Good times, Good times, dog. Well, shit, man. Before we tell everybody where we can find you, man, what's just a little bit of game, dog, that you could give an up and coming artist right now trying to weave through these turbulent waters that is the game. What's some advice that you could give a young artist right now, man?
Man, it just depend on where you're trying to go. If you're trying to if you're trying to be a mega artist, then you gotta run the steps that mega artists gonna run. You gotta, and like I said, I'm in a whole different realm, so I can't even tell you the steps that a mega artist gonna run. So you just gotta
but just
Google,
the raw recipe.
just Google mega artist and then follow that step. But if you're trying to do
Act accordingly is what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
Act
But if you're trying to do like independent music, man, and just you're not necessarily trying to be like a mega star, but you just want to be able to do your art, get your art to your audience, man, and be able to make a living to where you can sustain yourself, throughout your life. Then, man, just first, man, just be true to your art. First and foremost, man, be true to your art. It don't matter if your art, if you deem your art, I guess you could say, world like being worldwide worthy. Just, man, that was no pun intended. Shout out to worldwide worthy. But
Shout out to Worthy for sure.
But man, just do your art, man, and just find your audience, man, and just find your voice, and man, find the people that fuck with your voice, and just build off that, man. You know what I mean? Sometimes this game ain't made for everybody to be Beyonce or Katy Perry or these other bigger names, man. Sometimes it's just made for just to be you, just dope networks. Speaking on myself, so I'm gonna just do that.
Where can everybody find you at, though?
Dope Networks. Where can they find me? Doe_networks with a Z on Instagram. Doe Networks all together on Twitter. And then, I don't be doing the Facebook thing, man, but you can find me, and I don't be doing the TikTok. You might see a TikTok on there.
Yeah, you gotta make a TikTok though.
Yeah, but I don't be on there a lot, man. So just come to the ground, man, and we gonna chill.
Chill.
That's it.
Man, though. Hey, man, I appreciate you, though, man. I appreciate the contributions that you're making to the hip hop game right now, big dog.
you, my brother.
You know what I mean?
Thank
Because
you, man.
I definitely respect it, you know, and appreciate it for sure, bro. Bring back real rap, bring back real bars, bring back real artists, man.
Bring it back. I'm bringing
Appreciate
it
you,
back,
though.
man. My wife over there, my daughter over there.
Shout
over
out
there
to
sleep.
wifey.
Yeah, they
Shout out to
sleep
Lil
right
Mama
now.
over here.
Yeah, they done fell asleep, so we about to go eat
Yeah,
some
bro.
Fridays.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
you already know what it is, man. It's the Sauce TV, man. We out this bitch.
Yeah, we on. Hey, yeah.